Hi all, welcome to the second video. In the first video, we saw that there is a letter written to Nomida by her mother, and it was not given by her husband. It was kept in his pocket, scrambled and crushed, and Nomida finds it out when she tries to hand it over to the washerman. Let's continue the story. It is nothing much, a letter from Nomida's mother. So Nomida realizes that it is a letter which is addressed to her, which came 3 days back, and it is written by her mother. It is her standard speech. The good woman has once again placed on the record the news of her various hardships and complaints getting worse, misfortune upon misfortune. The ceiling of her room is cracked, and the rainwater falls through in ceaseless streams. If this is not immediately remedied, she will have to die crushed under the weight of a collapsed roof. Of course, she does not dread that eventuality. Her daughter is a queen, her son-in-law high-minded, large-hearted. Therefore, etc., etc. This letter, it is her standard speech. It is the standard words spoken by Nomida's mother, and she repeats the news of the hardships and grievances that she has, the complaints that she used to make. So what are the complaints that her mother writes? About the ceiling of her room, which is cracked, and during rain times the rainwater falls through in endless streams. So the house is about to fall, and if you don't consider this fact, the roof may fall down, and her mother will have to die out of this crushed or collapsed roof. And she adds that she doesn't fear this fact that she may die out of this collapsed roof, and she also boasts that her daughter is a queen, and she is married to a very rich family, and her son-in-law is a very high-minded and large-hearted fellow. So it is the usual standard speech of her mother about her hardships, and also about the fortunate fact of her daughter being married to a rich family. An indigent widow, without husband or son, she was successful in consigning her daughter to a wealthy family's house on the strength of looks alone. She is an indigent widow. This is about the character or the personality of the lady, her mother. She is an indigent, means extremely poor widow. Widow means a person without a husband. Without husband or son, she was successful in consigning, means assigning her daughter to a wealthy family's house. And Nomida's mother, though she is a widow without a husband or son, she was successful in assigning her daughter to a wealthy family on the strength of Nomida's looks alone. Nomida is a beautiful lady, so on the fact that she is beautiful, she is successful in marrying Nomida to a wealthy family on the strength of looks alone. But the good lady has never stopped taking credit at the slightest opportunity for her skill in the matter. So this matchmaking effort, or this what the ability as a mother to marry her daughter to a rich family, this fact has been boasted throughout by Nomida's mother, and she is too proud that she has got great skill in that matter, and whenever she gets an opportunity, she boasts of this. and she has been finding such opportunities all around. So whenever Nomita's mother, she gets a slight opportunity, she boasts about the how fortunate her daughter is, and her successful endeavor in marrying her daughter to a rich family. Whenever Ajit sees a new letter from Nomita's mother, he smiles derisively and says, "Why bother to read that? I'll go and fill out a money order form." So, whenever there is a letter from Nomita's mother, Ajit is too indignant to watch the letter. So, he smiles in a contemptuous way, derisively, and he says, "Why bother to read that letter? There is no need to open the letter because all the letters contain the same content. I'll go and fill out a money order form." So this old lady will be begging for money, so I'll go and fill out a money order form, and there is no need to open and read the letter. Nomita's head hangs low with the shame and the insult of it. So whenever Ajit mentions about this letter and about filling out a money order form, Nomita's head hangs low with the shame and insult of it. She gets insulted and ashamed with the remarks made by her husband. So some time ago, out of anger and grief, Nomita forbade her mother from writing to her on postcards. And Nomita was very much worried as her mother used to write on postcards. So postcards are very easy to read, and if it were written in an envelope, it would be rather difficult for people to read the letter. So Nomita told her mother not to write on postcards. So she told not to write on postcards. She thought that from then on, she would try to send her a little money, whatever she could pull together in secret. And she thought of storing some money for her mother, and whatever she can pull together, she can send her mother some money. So this was what came of letters in envelopes too. So mother started writing in envelopes and nothing got changed. Ajit started opening the letters and he used to read the letters, and these envelopes also had the same story. Suddenly, Nomita flames into anger at her mother. Suddenly, she was very much angry at her mother. Why? Why does she keep on begging like this? I'm very much ashamed. Why does she always beg like this, like a beggar? Why won't she let Nomita keep her self-respect, her dignity? Her daughter is married to a rich family. So, why don't she keep my self-respect and dignity? No, this time she will write and tell her mother clearly, I can't do anymore. Don't hope for anything from me. So I'm going to write her bluntly that I'm not going to give you anything. So don't beg at me. Right then, Ajit steps into the room after finishing his leisurely Sunday bath. So at this moment, Ajit comes after having his Sunday bath, the leisurely Sunday bath. Nomita's sharp indignation at the insult, simmering all this while, seems to want to dash itself violently against him. Nomita roars out, "When did this letter arrive?" So Nomita was very much angry at the insult of her husband, and also not handing over the letter to her even after 3 days, and she was having anger in her mind, and she dashed violently against him. The anger came out. Nomita roars out, "When did this letter arrive? Tell me, when did this letter arrive? Ajit glances at her obliquely, estimating the magnitude of his error. So Ajit, he just looks at her and he doesn't fear Nomida. Another handful of cash for this, he had thought. So I'll have to fill out another money order form, he thought, and decided not to give the letter to Nomida. He was going to tear it up and throw it away. He has made a big mistake. So Ajit was not at all interested to send money to Nomida's mother, and unfortunately he forgot to throw that letter away. He kept it in his pockets, and that was a big mistake. Not that Ajit is going to feel abashed about it. So Ajit is not at all afraid of Nomida's anger, but he thinks that I forgot to throw that letter away. Otherwise, I will have to send out money to her mother. As though trying hard to remember, he says, so Ajit says, letter? What letter? Oh, yes, indeed. There was a letter from your mother. I just hadn't got around to giving it to you. Oh, he says, oh yes, there was a letter from your mother, but unfortunately, I forgot to give it to you. Why hadn't you got around to it? Why? Answer me. Why hadn't you got around to it? Nomida, she says, why did you forget? What a nuisance, Ajit says. I had forgotten, why else? Ajit says, you are a nuisance. Why are you making a nuisance? I forgot, that's all. Liar, Nomida hisses like a snake. Nomida says, you are a liar. Ajit says, why are you saying whatever comes to your mouth? Don't people forget? It's quite common that people forget. So why are you telling whatever comes to your mouth? Nomida, no, they don't. Why did you open my letter? Tell me, why did you open my letter? This charge, Ajit tries to scatter to the winds. So when Nomida makes this allegation of opening the letter and reading her letter, Ajit, he tries to scatter it to the winds by a very simple remark. What if I opened it? My own wife's letter? So I have the responsibility. I am your husband and I am the dominating force in this family. So what if I open my own wife's letter? Be quiet, I tell you. For what reason should you open my letters? Haven't I told you 1,000 times not to? Nomida is very angry. She says, I have told you 1,000 times not to open my letters. For what reason should you open my letters? Ajit doesn't fear Nomida's anger. He fears a row. So he smiles an affected smile and says, if you are forbidding it, then it's a definite something. Shouldn't I make sure that no one is passing you love letters in secret? So Ajit he's not at all afraid of Nomida's anger, and he smiles an affected smile. So it is not a usual smile. He smiles an affected smile and says, if you are preventing me to read the letters, that means then there is something in it. And as a responsible husband, it is my duty to see that no one is passing you love letters in secret. Stop it! What a common vulgar man you are. And Nomida, she says, you are a very vulgar common man. After this, it is not possible for Ajit to smile his fake smile any longer. So until then, Ajit was smiling, but when she says this remark, you are a common vulgar man, Ajit is not able to smile that fake smile anymore. Now he too picks up the poison knife He says, is that so? Those who whine day and night and hold out their palms to their son-in-law, they are the high-class people. A dung picker's daughter becomes a queen, and so. So Ajit also, he responds. He says, is that so? And those people who whine means beg, in a kind of a long pitched cry, just like a dog or like a beggar. Those who whine day and night and hold out their palms to their son-in-law, they are the high-class people. Ajit is referring to her mother begging for help, begging for money. A dung picker's daughter becomes a queen, and so. So you are the daughter of a dung picker, and you became a queen. That's why you are telling like this. Shut up, Nomida yells. Nomida shouts at him, shut up. So we'll come to the story in the next video. Thank you.